This is probably the first and hopefully the last time that anyone ever says this. I'm actually glad I haven't seen Godzilla Minus One yet, because I really think it would have ruined this for me. Hey, what's up? My name is John Bonjour. I'm an artist and a film enthusiast. I have drawn some art. I would like to enthuse about some film 3 to 5 weeks late, which seems to be my norm now. The reason is because I am traveling right now. I am in Thailand, which is sweet. So this is all a very different setup. It's going to be like this for at least the next month. I'm not sure how many movies I'm going to be able to cover. I'm hoping to see Fall Guy and maybe Furiosa right when it comes out, but we'll see about that one, and we'll kind of see about Fall Guy too. But the point is, I saw Godzilla x Kong, or possibly Godzilla Kong, the New Empire. I really did almost call it the Frozen Empire. Saw it with Thai subtitles. The Thai language is beautiful, and it was really interesting to see it in a Southeast Asian kind of area, because I guess Japan isn't Southeast. Not the point. The point is, a friend of mine asked me what I thought of this movie and if it was worth watching. And my full review is kind of going to be this. I'll dive into some spoilers. I want to talk about a bunch of stuff for this movie. But my original and kind of most important thought about this movie, it really depends on what you think of the last few. This isn't Godzilla Minus One. This isn't a harrowing story about a giant monster. This is an Avengers movie without the Avengers. So if you can put your enjoyment in giant lizard suplexing a giant monkey off a pyramid, which I clearly can because I'm a 12-year-old boy, then this movie's great. It really is. It's a lot of fun. But also, I think that there are things to this where it's just rough that it came out so close to what is apparently a much better film. Again, haven't seen it. But this is not a good film. This is barely a film at this point. It's more of a VFX highlight reel. It's got some characters. They're in there. The character with the most characterization is Kong, which is funny to me because he doesn't talk. Can you imagine if they decided to change that and make him talk in one of these? That would blow me away. I would hate that. Anyway, what I'm trying to say is Godzilla x Kong is just not a good film. It's really not. But it is an absolute blast if you can prepare yourself for just dumbassery for 2 hours. We'll talk about the cast, but I really don't have anything to say. All of their characters are just whatever the basest form of that character is. It's all that. Perfect example, Rebecca Hall plays a mom, and her whole character is, gee, I sure am a mom. That's what I'm up to, is being a mom. There are characters, but none of them are strong or good. The guy who played Phastos in The Eternals, Brian Tyree Henry, he is in this, and he was in the last one. He's fine. He's fun. He's a fun little wackadoo. He kind of feels like he's playing a character more than anybody else. He feels like he is part of a movie, and I don't know if that's a good thing. Other people feel like they kind of are aware that they're part of a movie. He feels like he's just really in a movie. I don't know how to put my finger on explaining that exactly, but that's just kind of the way I feel. My biggest negative for this movie is that it's just a little too silly for me in moments. It starts, minor spoiler, with Kong having a toothache and going to the dentist. That is part of this movie. I understand that it's supposed to lean into the silly, it's supposed to lean into the fun, but I'm a guy who really liked Godzilla King of the Monsters, a movie that apparently everyone else in the world hates. So I like to see my monsters being monsters. I like them being kind of unstoppable forces, not just some dudes broing around. That being said, there are some moments that really got me. It most of the time stays within the realm of enjoyable silly and not way over the top, kind of too ridiculous silly for me. It's one of those things where I needed to kind of recenter my expectations. I was hoping this was going to be a little bit bigger. I was hoping the scale from the original few was going to stay here and that we would get monsters, and there's not really monsters. Like I said, this is an Avengers movie. But with that said, I really did enjoy this film. I think it was a lot of fun. There's a lot of great action set pieces. These people know exactly what they're doing with these characters, these monsters. They do a really good job giving us the brawls, the fights that we want to see. That's why we're here. They know we want to see a big punch. We want to see a big punch, and there's a lot of big punches in this. I like big punches. I like Big Shark. I like Big Punch. Hey, if we can cross this over with the Meg, I don't feel like that's impossible. I feel like we're about 2 steps away from that. Let's give it a shot. Let's get Jason Statham in one of these. That would be incredible. Okay, hold on. I'm actually really thinking through what that would look like, and I'm loving every second of that. I'm really liking that. Let's get Jason Statham in one of these. I'm going to dive into a couple of spoilers here. First of all, There's a couple of fights, monster fights, where it's like they cut away. They do this twice, where they cut away from the beginning of the monster fight and then the fight is over. Why are we doing that? What are we doing? Did we not come here for Godzilla and Kong? Like, you're going to show us the start of Kong fighting this weird, cool squid monster and not the end? You're going to start Godzilla fighting, cannot think of that thing's name, the big one in the ocean. I understand that they're expensive. I get that they're expensive to make, but I paid money. I gave my money. You give your money. Give us cool fights. That's just really, honestly, if you had given those fights and cut out several of the early scenes with the people and the things we don't care about, I think it would have been a better movie. I really do. And you could pay less actors. That's terrible. I will also say, just in terms of story, these are just getting thinner and thinner, aren't they? We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel of what we're allowing to be called a story at this point. I could not tell you what happens in this movie. I don't know how Mothra's back. I don't understand that, because Mothra died pretty clearly in the last one. So is this a reincarnation of Mothra? Is it some sort of pupus? That can't be what it is. Is it some sort of baby Mothra that is now Mothra again? I don't know. They don't seem to know. Mothra's back, baby. Like, that really seems to be the thought behind these movies. Is just like, wouldn't it be cool if Mothra was in it? And granted, it is pretty cool that Mothra's in it. And I just like the idea that no one in the pitch room was like, didn't Mothra die? They were just like, yeah, Mothra would be cool. Let's bring Mothra in. Yeah, like, I don't really know what else there is to say. It's a fun movie. I think it's a great time. I liked it a lot. I do think that it's like, this is probably the max of what I am willing to accept in terms of silliness and goofiness. I'm sure that there's people that want it to go sillier and goofier. I am not one of them. I would like to rein it back in a little bit, darken it up, just a hair. Like, put some stakes in this movie that aren't the whole world is gonna explode or something. Like, I just want some stakes where a city is in danger and we care that is true. I am really interested to see where this franchise goes, because I think that there's a pretty good chance that this is the last okay one. I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope they get better and better from here. But I don't think that's what's going to happen. Just based on trajectory, I think these are going to get more ridiculous. Pretty good chance we get some sort of rip-off Pacific Rim, which could work, but also Transformers kind of tried to do that, and it's... Not everybody needs to be an Iron Man, is my point. But I do want to see where this goes. I hope that they kind of rein it in and give us something with a little bit more meat on its bones, something a little bit stronger. But that said, I did have a lot of fun, and I will be seeing the next one, whatever it is. Thank you so much for watching this video and checking out my channel. If you'd like to hear more of my thoughts on movies, TV shows, comic books, shirts, giant monsters, Jason Statham, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and comment below what you'd like me to review next. Or do none of those things, because I am not your dad. And if you have a second, please take a look at my free comic book, Edge of Border Town. It's on my website, johnbondart.com. Like I said, it is free. It will always be free. I am working on issue 3 right now. Each issue is a little bit self-contained, so they're kind of, there's 2 stories. There's 2 stories out there. Don't you want 2 more stories in your life? Please read my comic book. I ask out of desperation at this point.